So I have to say, first off, that I'm a massive Survivor fan. Obviously, you know this about me, but you are just so emblematic of, like, I think everything great that came out of Survivor. You're the post-Survivor player that I think people in the world, fans of Survivor, are like, yeah, that's my girl. That's my girl. How does it feel to be that girl?
That's sweet. I think it's a testament to how I have really dug into my life and shared a lot of personal information with fans about my journey because it wasn't easy or pretty underneath the surface or sort of behind the curtain.
Mhm.
And I think a lot of people who go on TV, especially former reality players, they just want to move on or they want to keep doing life the way that they were doing it. But I have really allowed myself to be changed by Survivor in every way possible. And coming out of that and articulating it and sharing it in my book has now really lifted the veil for the
Yeah.
fans to kind of see behind. It's like there's a hunger and a curiosity about Survivor players and Survivor in general and what that world is like. And it's what kind of person excels in that arena.
Uh-huh.
And then also, sort of like, how do you integrate that kind of intensity into regular day to day life
Mm.
without getting swept away by it or avoiding it?
Yeah.
So it's like the work of my entire life to get to this
Yeah.
point. So it feels good that people are relating to that.
Well, and what's so interesting, I mean, a lot of I have the book, I've read the book, I love the book, obviously. I'm a fan of yours, so of course I'm gonna love the book. But one of the things that I think strikes me about the book and about you is that, one of the things that makes Survivor players so interesting is that they are regular people. They're not necessarily for the most part casting actors or celebrities or like the names that we all know. So like you become this regular person that all of a sudden becomes famous. And then you have to figure out what to do with that notoriety after you do this massive show that millions, I mean, the most watched reality show on television. Like it's millions of people. And what you did with this book, I think is so interesting in that it's relatable, but at the same time, your voice from the show and from your life, from your social media, is just comes through so transparently. Like it is just so authentically you in this book. And talking about some of the uncomfortable things, how did you figure out how you were going to talk about some of the challenges you faced, but yet still maintain that voice that we know so well?
I wanted the book to be real and very honest. And I've had some pretty horrific experiences in my life
Uh-huh.
that I don't necessarily need to be revisiting and sharing for everyone, like people that I don't know. But I wanted to include some of the things that were still very difficult that I went through to help other people who are also, it's human, like
Mhm.
divorce, motherhood, new motherhood, breakups, death of a sibling, addiction, these themes, like coming out in a queer relationship for the first time at a later age, like these themes are human. And I think a lot of people can get afraid of being seen if we want to do something that's sort of outside of the commonly acceptable way of living or the mainstream. It's like, oh God, is it safe for me to do that? If I do that, am I gonna lose everything I care about in my life? But really the whole point of the book is do it if it's yours to do. And then as you do the scary things and you go through the hard stuff and showcase the courage that you need, your life becomes more real and authentic. And it's just, you can live such a better life that way.
Yeah. With your voice, one of the things that I think stands out to me is, like, for example, growing up in Florida, which obviously is going to give you a personality. I mean, in general, like anyone from Florida is going to come out of Florida with a personality. But then on top of that, to add on to that, growing up on a commune run by like a female guru, like knowing that and then having seen your experience on Survivor, I'm like, I think I know where she got this voice. I think I
You're like,
know
I get
a little.
it.
You get it. Yeah. So like what what was that? I mean, how much of that particular your youth, how you grew up in that unique way really sort of dictated what we've seen of you on Survivor?
I think the majority of what you see of my gameplay on Survivor stems from my childhood and how I grew up. I lived inside of this container of power dynamics, coercive control, emotional and psychological manipulation, um, tricking people into giving the guru everything. Like she had everyone kind of cast under her spell. And I saw that day in and day out. I lived inside of that
Wow.
every day. She was my primary attachment figure, a mother and father to me, not only me, but to us all, everyone in the community. I had parents, but my parent, who I was attached to, of course, but my parents also were attached to her. So it was this very sort of like hierarchical power game that I lived in till I was 9 years old.
Wow.
Yeah, it laid the tracks. And then once we left, we didn't talk about it anymore. So it was sort of this kind of guillotine moment where we moved into a subdivision or like a apartment complex in Marietta, Georgia. And it was a completely different culture, completely different lifestyle. So I had to just forget about my old life and then assimilate into this new life, which I think also helps me be able to adapt and adjust to different personality types and be so successful if you throw me into a game like Traitors or Survivor or Deal or No Deal Island where it's all new people. I'm like, okay, I know how to bond with people fast. I've been doing this my whole life.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you see it so well in like in just going back because I went back and I watched a few of your seasons just to sort of like as I'm reading the book and sort of getting an idea just I wanted to be in your headspace and
Yeah.
you really do see it like you see and that makes me like you so much more. That's what's so great about this book I think is that it's gonna make people go back and watch you from past seasons and it's gonna make them like you so much more because you see how it all happened, how it all like you know what I mean? Like you understand how you're doing what you're doing.
Right. Yeah, exactly. I didn't have any of the conscious awareness then when I was playing the games that I was so good at it naturally because I had been born into Survivor essentially.
Yeah. Yeah.
But now, in having processed this and in writing the book, I became aware of these patterns and could look back and be like, oh my God, Survivor and the ranch look, that's what we called it, the ranch. They looked the same. They felt the same. The smells were the same with like the fire and the dampness and the like body odor.
Oh.
These people, like,
Yeah.
this is my, no wonder I craved it. It
Yeah.
was comforting to me to play Survivor.
Wow. Yeah, no, I can fully get that. The other thing about your book, and I do want to talk more about Survivor, but I do there was one part of it that like I think really stood out to me. I mean, there's so many things in here that I think so many people can relate to, but particularly your your path with marriage and then divorce and what happened with that divorce and everything around that relationship. I mean, I'm a child of divorce and I'm also a child of a mom who survived domestic violence. And there is the impact of that in your life, of that divorce, regardless of the circumstances around the divorce, violent or not. But
Mhm.
the impact of that divorce forever changed me as a person going into the world. And I'm sure that that's changed you as well in a lot of ways. So like what were you was it difficult for you to write about some of those things? And was it difficult for you to share some of the things about your private life in that capacity?
I didn't know how I was going to talk about it at first, and I was really hesitant
Mhm.
to talk about it and to name the person who I had been married to, but it's already public information. So much is already in the public domain. So I thought, okay, well, this is my opportunity to share from my perspective, my internal landscape around this situation what sort of the emotional themes were that I was feeling and going through, what sort of the context was happening around the relationship, and I wanted to write about it in a way that was considerate of my daughter, who is still going back and forth between houses, and this relationship that I'm still navigating with
Yeah.
him as a co-parent. So like, I've worked really hard to get myself to a place of being able to communicate moderately effectively
Yeah.
with this person. And it is, I prioritize my daughter above everything. So I'm like, I'm not going to say anything that's going to jeopardize her or that relationship. I don't need to impact her relationship with her father in a negative way. I'm going to tell my story to the best of my ability. Of course, I left a ton of stuff out of that story because of, because it's still ongoing.
Mhm.
Like, yeah, I wrote a memoir, but there are other people involved, and there's other um like emotional, there's other people and perspectives and relationships I had to take into consideration.
Yeah.
But I wanted to write something that would be supportive for anyone else, especially women who find themselves in a relationship that feels restrictive, constraining, that is taking more than it's giving, that the burden of responsibility is on them for the primary care of the child and the financial responsibility. I wanted to give people permission to say, enough. And
Mhm.
it's okay for me to leave this. It's not going to help anyone for me to stay.
Yeah.
But I think we're taught, and something that I wrestled with when I was considering divorce was, oh, you're breaking up the family.
Yep.
This is a broken home now.
Mhm.
This is sort of like the shit that we're is told. And I'm like, no, it's actually a broken home if we stay together.
Yep.
It's a broken family if we stay together. If I leave, I'm demonstrating to my daughter that she can leave something that's not working for her, that's painful.
Yeah. I'm so glad you said that, and I'm so glad you said the other part too about finding that moderate voice, because I remember when I was a kid, I knew the constraint between my parents. I could feel it. I saw what was going on when they were married. And yet post divorce, when my mom decided to divorce, there was that moment of, well, I have to invite your dad to your birthday party. I don't,
Mm.
regardless of what's happening with us, like he has to be there. And you put that voice that I think a lot of moms, particularly moms, and a lot of kids who look to their moms for that kind of support and had those kind of moms, you gave voice to a lot of that, because I think there aren't a lot of voices out there talking about women who have to make choices to deal with sometimes complicated relationships with exes in order for the betterment of kids. And it's not you settling, it's you creating a life for your child that's not going to be traumatizing. And I think that is really respectable. And I commend you for like writing like that, because that hit me a lot just from my own
Oh,
experience.
I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah.
I'm really, really enjoying hearing from readers which part
Mhm.
relates to them. And that's why I included so many kind of deeply personal and challenging stories in there, because I wanted something to land for every single
Yeah.
reader
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
whatever phase of life that they're in.
Totally. Yeah. Well, it landed for me, but it was always going to land for me because obviously I love you. But so Survivor. I do need to talk about Survivor. So like Survivor 50's coming upon us not too long from now. Your impact on the game of Survivor, it's I think appalling that you're not on Survivor 50. I'm just going to say that right now. I submitted a complaint to CBS, don't worry.
Did you?
But I still I your impact on Survivor and the game is massive, and you'll obviously will be on Survivor Australia versus the world, which is very exciting. But you've played 149 days, I believe, of the American Survivor, which is insane. What In what ways do you think, because you have this post Survivor career now where you've made a career out of being yourself and using your voice in lots of ways, but it's because of Survivor. So, like, what impact do you think for that? What advice would you have for post Survivor players in sort of figuring out navigating that post Survivor life? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it's going to be unique for every single player, because now there's been 50 seasons of Survivor. There's hundreds and hundreds of thousands of former Survivor players out in the world. Survivor is not a platform typically that a contestant will go on to get famous. Like if you want to get famous, go do Love Island, go do The Bachelor, go do something that's more dating related. But these competition reality shows, like people don't get famous from them.
Yeah.
So don't try to be an influencer after you play Survivor. I would say just do some digging into really what you want out of your life. And this is kind of, I would encourage anyone to do this, whether you've played Survivor or not. But I think if someone is trying to play Survivor, wants to play that game, they're a person who's an adventure seeker,
Yeah.
who wants to challenge themselves, who wants to know what they're made of, who doesn't really necessarily want to do life in a linear way, in a safe way. So I would say just give yourself lots and lots of experiences and adventures beyond your Survivor adventure. So it's not just like, I've peaked
Yeah.
and that's the pinnacle of my life. And then they just stay stuck in the like past.
Yeah.
I would say just point your eyes to the horizon and look for some more adventures and do the things that really light you up from the inside.
Yeah, I do see a lot of, because I talk with every time there's someone who's exited the show, I do that interview. And one of the things I find so interesting about Survivor players is that there is that need to become an influencer. It does feel like in this modern day, like social media wasn't around at the beginning of Survivor. It wasn't a thing at the beginning of Survivor, and it has become an integral part of how people consume Survivor now. And so,
Mhm.
what do you think it is about that pressure to become an influencer because of being on Survivor?
I think it's very appealing. Like this idea of being an influencer, of being paid to just make a post. Like someone's going to send you some crackers and you're going to make a post and you're going to make 5 grand from this cracker post. It's like you don't have to slog and toil and suffer and grind at an office. Like you could work and live anywhere in the world. So it is appealing to the type of person
Yeah.
that would apply for reality television in general.
Yeah.
Because you're already an exhibitionist. You already want to be on camera. You kind of want to be famous, but not too famous that you're like bombarded at the grocery store.
Yeah.
But you want to be able to make some money by not working too hard.
Yeah.
Isn't that's like
I
the
mean, that's the
dream?
dream. That's
Yeah.
always the dream.
The
When
ultimate.
I was a kid, I was like, I just want to make money doing me, being a personality. And like, I've
Yes.
figured out a way to do that, but it's not a lot of money, y'all. It's not.
I mean, yeah, those cracker posts are few and far between.
Yes.
You have to
Yeah.
get something else going.
Exactly. Well, so like, what are you looking forward to with, with Survivor 50, of course. I mean, with Survivor 49 has to come first, and we're very excited. Do you still watch Survivor?
I haven't been. Be honest. I can't watch it.
No, I feel you. I feel you. My boyfriend was on Project Runway. I have so many friends from Drag Race, and none of them watch. None of them watch.
It's not fun. It's not escapist TV. I actually watch a lot of scripted TV.
Oh yeah. What are you watching?
I'm watching The Studio right now.
Oh, love the studio. Love
I
the
love it.
studio.
And I'm
Love the
watching
studio.
Buccaneers, which is
Oh,
so cheesy.
but
But
it's so good. So
fun.
good. So good. You got to get into the Gilded Age, because I see you as a character on the Gilded Age. You very much are kind of Bertha.
Oh, I'll do it. I'm like, I presented an award at the Las Culturistas
Yes.
Culture Awards to Quinta
Yeah.
from Abbott Elementary.
Yes.
And I was like, I would do a cameo. Like, I would play a role on the White Lotus. Like some of these shows, I'm like, yeah, I would become an actor for that show
I
specifically.
mean, I could see you on the White Lotus. I could
definitely
fully see you on the White Lotus. Oh my
really want to
god.
be on the White
Well,
Lotus.
so are you going to watch 50? Are you looking forward to 50?
I will likely watch most of 50. I'm so non-committal. They're 90-minute episodes now. Come on, man. I'm definitely going to watch Australian Survivor.
Yes.
See how that goes. I'm like, people on my Instagram are like begging me, how do we watch it? I just keep sending them to Paramount Plus. I'm like, tell Paramount Plus to put it on the air. Like, take off the embargo.
Yeah.
What's so threatening to US Survivor about Australian Survivor? Like, what's so threatening to CBS about Australian Survivor? Come on. It's going to help.
It's going to help the brand.
More fans.
Yes.
To the franchise. I thought that way about my book too. My book is going to help bring more fans to the franchise. Former Survivor contestants playing Traitors, playing Deal or No Deal, playing other games helps bring new waves of fans to the Survivor franchise. Like, It's,
Yeah.
to me, very obvious.
Yeah, there was a couple years ago where they uploaded one season of Australian Survivor, and my boyfriend and I literally over Thanksgiving, I think, with my folks, watched it like over 2 days, just binged watched it, and then they just took it off like quickly, very
Yeah.
quickly. They just took it off. It was I may have talked about it in therapy, but so okay, so Survivor Australia versus the world, like what can we look forward to? Because I mean, you're gonna watch that because you're on it. What can
Yeah.
we look forward to with that?
I actually usually do not watch the shows that I'm on. Like, well, when I played Survivor the first 3 seasons, I couldn't watch. I was like too traumatized from my
Yeah.
experience. So I
Yeah.
like fled the country for Heroes Villains. I flew to India and I was like, well, I was avoiding a guy too. I don't want to break up
Yeah.
with him face to face. I wrote that in my book.
You pulled an Alanis Morissette. Thank you, India. Yeah.
Isn't it ironic? But I will watch Australian Survivor because
Mm,
it was fun. It was
yeah,
really fun to play.
that's
And it's a
exciting.
celebration. It's like this international, like world champion of Survivor.
Mhm.
I think that's cool. It's never been done before.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, so I want to end things with coming back to the book. Like, nice girls don't win. One of the things that I think I like about you, well, this is coming from a gay homosexual, but I like about you is that you lean into just being a girl and how fun it is to be a girl. And like
Yeah.
you kind of even on your seasons of Survivor, it's just like fuck the rules. Just do the thing that comes naturally to you as the girl that you are. And it so comes through in this book. And you've turned it obviously into a podcast and like and also, I mean, life coach as well, right? Like you also do some like life coaching as well,
Yeah.
correct? Yeah.
Yeah.
And so what is it about the message to girls that is like so important to you about not just from the book, but about everything that you do?
Well, I think what I have become aware of is how many women's voices have been missing
Mm,
from all the stories that we hear in our lives from the dawn of time as we know it, like from the Roman Catholic Church and like the creation of like kind of worldwide religion in this
mhm.
era. It's like, where are the women's voices?
Yeah.
And as I've become aware of that, I've realized I feel like I have a responsibility to speak because I do have a unique voice and I have worked very diligently to empower myself and to break out of the constraints of society and to stop trying to fit myself into this system and structure that feels very confining and restrictive.
Mhm.
So I'm going to keep encouraging girls and women to take up space, to be brave, to do the thing that they feel called to do, even if it's going to piss some people off,
Mhm. Mhm.
because that is going to, I think, when women start to assert ourselves and stand up and be really brave and strong and use our unique voices, then it's like the tipping point in the whole world is going to change for the better.
So true. So
It's a
true.
movement. That's what
It's a
we're doing.
movement. It's a movement, and everyone should move towards you and buy the book. See what I did there? See what I
Yeah,
did there?
thank you.
Yeah. Thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me. I really appreciate it.
Oh, you're the best. Anytime.
You're the best.